Welcome to the second part of the lesson for Sunday, the 17th of October. Let's begin by sitting. Can we begin by opening the hips a little wider? So take your feet out from simple pose, Sukhasana, and just take the feet a little away from your body and lean out and place your elbows in the space just inside your knees. Hold on to your ankles. Keep looking forward while you do this, and just lean out, keeping it flat and straight back, and press down with a little bit of force on the inside of the knees and the legs, and feel the hips opening as you do so. Okay, and then release it. And this time when you do it again, try to resist the stretch. So as you press down with your elbows and shoulders, push up with your knees, but don't let them go anywhere. So keep the force going down. Don't overdo it. Just resist the stretch. Up with the knees, down with the elbows and shoulders. And then don't resist, so just press down without resisting upwards. And then come up, bring your heels in a little bit further, feet in a bit further. And again, same idea, pressing down like this and open up the hips a little wider. You can do this in a variety of ways, of course, but this is one of the easiest ways to just control how far that works. Okay, and then I'm just going to turn this right angle to you. Take one of your legs out and bring the other leg in. So bring the foot into your body and drop the knee out sideways. Okay, so again, we're going to open up the hips a bit wider. So come forwards over this straight leg, flexing the ankle, and then keeping low, travel to the center and over to the opposite knee. Keep both sit bones on the block or on the floor. So coming round to the front, sweep low and over to that leg, sweep over to that knee. Sit bones still on the floor or on the block. And come up, and then take the arm onto the leg or inside the leg if you can reach that far. Take the other arm up, stretch it up high, go over the top and down towards this outstretched leg, keeping your head underneath the arm. All right, so again, opening up and maybe looking slightly up above you. And then travel up again, stretch up the ceiling and down. And then simply switch legs. So take the other heel in, extend the other leg, flex the ankle once more, and go down over the leg, looking forwards, over the toes. Try to relax your knee slightly, and the thigh. Sweep low and round to the center, and over to the opposite knee, and then sweep back again. And then try again, sweep round to the center and over to the knee. And then back to center. And then come up, release from that. Okay, and then do another kind of hip release. Take one leg out and bring the other heel in so that the foot is flat. Bring the thigh closer into your body, like so. And we'll do Mauritius pose. Now you can use a strap in a moment for this. I'm going to grab hold of mine now, if I need it. If not, I can use my hands and fingers instead. So you're going to bring one of your feet in. I've got my left foot flat in to my body here, and I'm bringing my thigh into my chest. So I'm going to get inside the bent leg like this, and I'm going to hold my ankle and get my armpit kind of tucked around my shin, reach out with my other arm over the straight leg, drop down and hold whatever I can, so I can hold my foot or the underneath part of my foot or behind my calf muscle. I'm going to lean out with as flat a back as I can make over there, and I'm going to then switch off my knee and thigh muscles once again of that outstretched leg. So that's one way to do it. Another way, of course, is that if you're able to, and you've got this left armpit cupped around the shin here, you can reach behind you with this thumb into the hip, and then reach behind you with the other arm and hold hands, which you can probably see there. Look, if I just turn it a little bit more, so that my hands are clasped just outside my left hip in this case. If you can't reach, then use your strap, and you can do it by a very simple means of throwing the strap behind you and then grabbing hold of it and wriggling your fingers close to each other and then doing the same thing. But again, you're not rounding the back, you're trying to keep the back fairly flat. You go outwards and forwards. Mauritius pose there. Flexing the ankle of the outstretched leg, stopping the knee and thigh from tensing too much, and holding there. And then when you finish it, you just simply release from there and do the same the other side. So I'll stay here. So I'll bring that leg in. I'll extend that one instead. And I can do this, try to do the same again. So I will go inside the bent leg. I'll hold the ankle. I'll reach out with this arm, try and hold whatever I can. Foot, some toes underneath the calf muscle. I'll keep my back straight, try to press my chest forwards rather than rounding the back, looking forwards over those toes at the front there, and tucking my right armpit in front of the right shin. If I can, I'll reach round the front and hold here, next to my hip, or I'll take my strap, get in front, round back there, and hold in this sort of way there. Same as before, trying to flatten the back and to switch off the muscles of my knee and thigh of the outstretched leg. Great way to do it. Okay. And then before we release into a higher position, leave that away. And then what we'll do is we'll try something else which is in the cross-legged position. So I'm going to sit at this angle to you, but I'm in easy pose, as you can see. And I'm making a note of which is my front leg. Well, my front leg is definitely my right one. And that means that the right heel is being supported, or rather is supporting, should I say, my left leg. Look there. If I take my right heel away, my left leg goes to the ground like this, and I tip over. But if I put my right heel underneath my left lower leg, as I lean out over the left knee, look, it's not flopping down onto the floor, and I'm not tipping up at all. So I'm going to take my strap again. So if you do the same, something similar, or a towel, something you can use, and make it into about something this wide, like so. But I'm going to put it behind my back. Right, so now we've got two things going on here. I'm going to turn in a moment and look over my left knee, because that's the one being supported by my right heel. I'm going to lean out over it. As I lean out, I'm going to try to bring my chin over the front of that knee. At the same time, lift my arms up behind my back. So it looks a bit like this. I'm going to go out and come down, and then lift my arms up as I hook my chin over my knee in this fashion. There you are. And hold it for 10 or 12 seconds, a little more if you can. And then when you've managed to do that, you gently lever up again. Okay, so let me turn to face you. I'm going to switch legs now. So now my left heel is supporting my right leg. And again, I'll get everything into position, get my arms behind me, turn to face my right knee, hook my chin over my right knee and lift my arms up as high as I can make. And go and hold that for 10 or 12 seconds or a bit longer if I can. All right. And then lever up out of that and come to center again. And then take my arms away and just relax a moment. Okay, so that you can see what that's doing is, again, is that working on this outer part of the hips into the side of the body. And in this particular case, we're opening up the chest at the front here, bring the shoulders and shoulder blades behind us and stretching the arms as we come forwards here in that position. You can also help yourself in that kind of arm or shoulder stretch by sitting like this on the floor, on the mat, with your legs straight out in front of you, taking your arms back so that one hand is on the outside of the mat, that side, and then corresponding hand on the other side, and then just walking your sit bones forwards or just walking your hands backwards. What happens then is that your shoulders will now have to stretch around the front here into the chest. So don't overdo it, just go as far as you can. You can drop your head forwards if you want to and flatten your lower back and just wait for that stretch to happen. If you want extra weight, your head is a fairly heavy object, you can drop your head back and just create a little bit more stretch. You can feel it also into your upper arm, into the biceps particularly, and in the inner side of the elbow. There's a nice way of stretching there in that plane. We'll do the other direction in a moment. Okay, so hold on there. Just let it happen. Don't overdo it. Don't go too far. You don't need to. And then when you're feeling able to, and you think, well, that's probably enough, just bring your head forwards and just come out of position and come right up like this. Now, of course, the other way, instead of the arms being brought back, is that I bring the arms back this way instead. And a lovely way to do that is to kneel up. You might be able to find a chair seat or a stool, or in my case, I've got a window ledge to put my hands on. So something about that height. And all you do is reach forwards, place your hands there, walk your knees back, and then press down in this kind of way. So you're hollowing the back and pressing your chest and your belly down and feeling the arms being pulled back behind your shoulders in exactly the opposite direction to the way we've just done it. So pressing down there, opening up and working on that upper area of the body. Gently releasing from that, you can come out of it. You can do that several times more if you wish, but for the time being, we'll just stop there and let the shoulders relax. And then we can just continue this into an upright position by standing. We can just work on that area of the body just a tiny bit more. So if you'd like to just come out of where you are and stand up. Have your feet underneath your hips and feel very balanced in your standing position. And then focus just on letting the arms completely become dead weights. So have no tension at all in anything in the arms, the wrists, the fingers, just hang from the shoulders very naturally. And then using your shoulder muscles alone, and the upper back muscles, just lift up using your levator scapulae, the lifters of the scapula. And then drop them down. So lift up your earlobes and drop them back down. Once more, lift up and drop them back. Do them one at a time. One goes up, one pushes down. Drop. One goes up, one pushes down. Up. Either side. There. Okay, and then go forwards, so your chest collapses. Go up by your ears, go backwards, so your chest starts to stretch and open. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and come down. Forwards, up, back, and down. Don't do anything with your elbows. I can imagine that one or two of you might be trying to tense your arms. Simply look, they're completely floppy. So up, back, and down. Forwards, up, back, squeeze behind you and down. Now go the opposite direction. So back, up, squeeze towards your earlobes, forwards and down. Back, up, forwards and down. Relax. Okay. And then take one arm up, back behind you as far as you can get it, and then down. Now you feel stretching on the inside of your arms as you come there. Remember, I'm not turning any other part of my body, just the arm and the shoulder doing the work. Other side, back, round the back, and down. Back, round, and down. Really getting inside there. Okay, do it with both. Back, up, round the back, and down. Forwards, up, round, and in, and down. Back the other way, in, up, round, and down. And we'll stretch there. Okay. Now, what we can do now is stay in a standing position, and we'll do some classic standing postures now. So we'll go through the Trikonasana, and we'll do the revolving one at the end. Okay, so let's begin. Push the elbow, the ankle back, and the heel back, and lift up. Okay. Ready, here we go then. So first of all, standard and classical Trikonasana. So down, and open, push the hips out in the same direction. You can just turn your head slightly if you wish. You can feel that opening up of the front leg, particularly behind the leg and inside the leg. And try to get as much distance between those two middle fingers of your opposite hands. Okay, hold it. And then we're going to do the revolving version in a moment. We'll do the other side first. So we're going to push from that front foot, push away, and lever up. And bring the arms down, and then just swivel around. Same again, so drop your shoulders, they're not all shrugged up like this, they're very much relaxed away from the ears. So thumbs facing the ceiling, here we go. Taking the hip over the front one, finding the position, pushing the hips out, holding it as firmly as you can in balance. Keep pushing the hips in the direction your chest is facing. Distance between the middle fingers of both hands. And hold on. And then ready to go, push away from that front foot. Push into the sole of the foot and you will lever out. Simply there. Now, if we're doing the revolving version of this, it's going to put a great deal of emphasis, isn't it, on this opening up of the chest and the shoulder, which we just practiced a moment ago. So if I take my block and I'm going to place it on the inside of my, yes, I'm going to place it on the inside of my right foot. So when I turn, I'll be facing you. So there's my right foot on the outside of the block, left foot behind me, of course. And I start in this stand position, but I'm going to revolve. So start here, revolve, keeping upright as far as you can. Place your right hand on the right hip. Reach a long way forward with your left arm. Really reach out as if you're trying to get something just out of reach there. Drop down onto your block. If you can't do this with a straight knee, bend the front knee a little bit. If you can do it easy enough without the block, then place your hand, fingertips on the floor or the hand flat on the floor, and then turn and raise that top arm. See how that shoulder mobility is stretching in to the shoulder, round into the chest, is being really worked here. You should also feel the lovely stretch and opening of the back lower leg into the heel and the outside of the calf muscle. The revolving Trikonasana works in a variety of ways in a cross-lateral way. Really good. If you can't manage to raise this top arm, just push your hand on your hip and push your elbow up to the ceiling instead. Okay, then when we want to come out of this, it's a fairly straightforward thing. You look down and you push away from the front foot and lever out and then just unravel and come back to that. Okay, so I'm going to turn around in the opposite direction now. Once again, if you're going to use your block as something to assist you, put it on the inside of the front foot, like that. If you don't need it, just get rid of it. Prepare. So we start by revolving with an upright body. Put the hand on the hip, stretch out as far as you can get, really reach out there, and then come down, hand on the block, or fingers on the floor, hand on the floor, and then turn, and then raise that top arm. If you can, work on that opening up of the arm and the chest and the shoulder as you try to straighten that front knee as much as possible. You feel that? Really works on that opening position. And when you've done that, you look down, put the hand back on your hip, forwards, reach out and revolve back to here and down. And then simply come out of it and have a little shake. So the opening movements or opening positions that we worked on were to open up here. We did work on shoulder flexibility and rotational things. You can also put your hands or your thumbs underneath your armpits and just circle your elbows around. You can feel how that works within the joint, and particularly as it transfers the movement into the scapulae behind here and then into your clavicles at the front here, because they're all connected, of course. Clavicle, shoulder, and scapulae behind you. Really feel that movement happening there. Good. Okay, so that was the revolving form of the Trikonasana pose. Let's do another one which involves a lunge. So let's work a little bit, first of all, on things that open up the lunge positions. And we can do those very simply. You might find that a couple of blocks will help you. You might like to improvise with all kinds of things, a couple of stools, even a couple of chair seats might work, but they might be a little bit too high. And what I'm going to remind you about is how you can work on this low lunge position with this heel spun off the floor behind you. So the first way I would do it is simply to start off here, place my hands on this block, and then really work on this lunging position here, pushing away from the floor for all the blocks. I try to keep that feeling of keeping the back leg straight and the back of the body in line with the back leg. So it kind of slopes up from your heel, behind the heel, to your shoulder. If you can feel you can do it without the blocks, you might be able to do it like this. So your fingers are on the floor in a tented position, or you have your hands flat. Now, that might mean that your thigh is right on your chest, and that might be able to support you. In fact, if I take my hands away, look, my thigh is doing all the support. So pushing here like that, keeping this down as far as I can, and keeping the back leg really straight as I do so. So there's a nice way to practice that. And when you've done it for more than 30 seconds or more, which we simply have now, just drop your back knee, flatten the toes, get rid of the front knee out to the side of your body, and then just slide down inside your front leg and knee like this. And just let your head go floppy on its neck. And then that front foot, you can just roll out onto the side of the front foot and open up the knee sideways and feel the hip and the piriformis muscle working as well. You really got an opening movement there in spades. And then just come to the center again, lever up slowly, come out and briefly go into child's pose to just switch everything off in the opposite direction for a moment or two. And then we'll repeat the same thing on the other leg. Okay. So when you're ready to, gently come up. I'm going to switch directions, you don't have to. If you're using the blocks again, it'd be for the other leg. So I have my left leg forward this time, last time, so I'm going to put my right leg there. Start in this upright position here. As I come down, bending this front knee, I'm going to spin my heel off the floor behind me. So I'm down and spin. Down I come onto my support if I need it. There, and drop my hips down. And feel that back leg and hip really opening as I do so. Trying to keep the back knee straight and looking forwards at all times, not dropping my head. Trying to feel that my neck and my spine and my leg are in some kind of alignment behind me. Again, you don't use blocks, you use tented fingers, like so, or you can use your hands flat and drop your body onto the front thigh. Again, still looking forwards, keeping that alignment there. All right, so you're in that sort of position. And then give it a little bit longer before we drop out of it. You ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the knee. Get inside the front leg. Slide the body down inside it. Drop your head. Let it go floppy on the neck. And then when you're happy to, wherever you've got to, just roll onto the outside of your front foot and drop the knee out sideways and feel the hip opening and everything working as it did the other side. So hang around a moment and then we'll lever out of it once again. Okay, so look forwards, come up slowly, bring your knee back and counter the movement by dropping forward in child's pose once again. Okay. Okay, and then slowly come up and release. And then come back into a standing position. Now, we can actually just work on that opening here a little bit more in a standing, it's a sort of semi-balance really. If you take one leg in front of you like this. So this is my right leg in front of my left one like this. Now, if I want to go and work on this left hip, all I do is raise my left arm and bring it over my head to my right and stick my left hip out as far as I can get it, taking a little bit more weight on the left foot and then turning the body slightly like this. The right hand you can just let hang or put on your hip if you want to get it out of the way a bit more and really push the left hip out as you stretch the left arm over your head and neck over to the right. You can really feel that working, can't you, down here? It's a great way to do that. So you'd be a bit careful because there's a sort of balance, a lot of the weight being taken on your left leg, and then you can come out of it and do the same the other way. So as we have my back towards you, but then you can see it a little bit more clearly. So instead of having my right leg in front, we have my left leg in front, like this. So my right arm will go up, and I will now go over to my left and stick my right hip out and take a little bit more weight into the right foot, the base of the right foot, and really feel that side opening. As a matter of interest, my right side feels much more amenable to being open than my left one does today. So I need to work on the opening and stretching of my left side. This seems a little bit stiff and uncomfortable comparatively. Right? And then come to center and open up and release. Good, have a little shake. Now, if you remember a long time ago, we've done this, we worked on the 8 gestures. The 8 gestures are really for the upper body and the shoulders and the arms, not for the legs at all, in the sense that they don't move, but there is a forward bend involved, so therefore if you're doing a stretch like this, stretching behind the legs like this. And the reason that the series of movements work well together is that they work all kinds of muscles in terms of strengthening and stretching of the upper body, particularly into the chest, the upper back and the shoulders, and then at one point in the lower back where you're raising the whole of the torso up and you're also stretching behind the legs at the same time. So I'm going to stand at this angle to you, sort of 3/4 like this. Remember how you do this? You put your hands together, you point your fingers downwards and your thumbs facing forwards. So the heels of your palms are in your low abdomen. And all you're doing is you're pressing the palms together. At that point, you then drop the chin down onto the chest, but keep the rest of the spine vertical. There. Okay. Let's start position. See, my arms are in tension, and my chest muscles are also in tension. Okay, so you release that by looking forward and raising the arms above your head, breathing in, and clasping. And as you breathe out, you do a sideways stretch one way. And then you come up, and sideways stretch the other way. Breathe out. And come up. And then you part your hands and go forwards, leading from the hips and the shoulders. Down you go. Stretching the backs and the legs. Relaxing the knees and thigh muscles. And then you raise your right arm up to the side and above you, breathing in. And lower, breathe out. Repeat on the left, up to the side and above you, breathing in. And then lower, breathe out. Then you get your back parallel to the floor, looking forwards a little way. Take your arms out sideways. Don't sweep them behind you. Point the fingers away from each other. And then come down. Then raise them above your head, but bent over, flat back to the floor. And then come down. And then do the same again and keep coming up. And then bring your palms together, fingers facing downwards, thumbs facing forwards, and drop your chin onto the chest. Okay. So you got the hang of that, or reminded of how to do it. So we'll do it again now, but this time we'll do it on a breath. Breathing in, breathing out. One movement, one breath. Ready? Here we go. So, chin down. Exhale. And in. And out sideways. And in. And out sideways. And in, palms forwards, and out, lowering down. Right arm up, in. Lower, breathe out. Left arm up, in. And lower, breathe out. Back parallel to the floor, arms out, breathe in. Spread your fingers. Lower, breathe out. Arms above your head, keep coming up. And lower, chin down, press the palms. Let's do one more. Exhale. And in. And out. And in. And out. And in. And down. in, arm up, and down. Left arm up, breathing in, and down. Breathe out. Arms out sideways, and down. Arms forwards, keep coming up, and lower, and press, chin down. And then release. Okay. Let's stay up just for a little bit longer before we go back down to the mat again. That revolving idea again, we can do in another way. If we place something on the floor and take the legs fairly wide, not too wide, let me face you, about like that. Now, that, if it's between my legs, it's going to be very difficult to get my hand on, so I'm going to place it there, a little bit further forwards. So this time, when I come down, I'll place my hand right in the middle there. You don't need the block, by the way, you can do it on the floor, but let me just show you here first. So if I start here like this, I go out, as I did a moment ago, my back flat, and I place the hand down, and I can turn away from that position there. So there. Now, interestingly, when I do this, where do I feel the stretch and the opening? Well, I certainly feel it in my arm, chest, and shoulder here. But I also feel it, if that left arm is going up, in the inside of this leg. Let me just show you again. So I go here, go down, place the hand, turn. When I turn, I'm feeling it really strongly there. As I'm trying to keep the weight equally between both feet and legs. Okay. Now take that top arm and drop it behind your back. To the fingers go to the opposite hip. But still keep rotating the top shoulder backwards as you do so. Got it? Then raise the arm again. Look at the floor and lever up. Back to here. And then come down. Okay. And then do the same going the other way. So we take the arms out. Go forwards. Place the hand and turn. Now I'm feeling on the inside of the opposite leg as I turn. And the shoulder and the back. And I drop the arm behind me to the opposite hip. So the fingers, my right fingers now going down to my left hip and thigh, outside there. Rotate that top shoulder backwards a bit more. Hang on. And then I lift the arm again, look down at the floor, and lever up again to here, and then come down. Not too out of it, shape there. And then we can do this. Now you can see that by having that block there, it meant that my body was square on all the time. So what I didn't do is I didn't go to one leg or the other. I was constantly in the middle of my body, just rotating on that axis like this. Now that's what we've got to do for the next one. It's sometimes tempting in the next one not to do that, and you can see why in a moment. So if I'm going to try and stay right in line with the camera there, and what I'm trying to do is not let my body go over there or go over there when I do this. So I'm going to try to keep it square, even though I'm turning my body as well. So knees come together to start with, and you bend the knees quite a lot, and you lean over, And you notice that my two knees are together, okay? One is not more forward than the other, they're together and inside together as well. And when I do this movement, I'm making sure that the knees, watch this, don't do that or that, okay? Interesting as that might be, I'm not going to let that happen. Okay, so if you'd like to watch me first, and then we can try together. So I'm going to come down like this, take the elbow there, take the hands there, bring the thumb into my sternum, make sure my knees stay together, and I turn and keep my body in line with the head centrally. Again, not doing that, I'm doing, I hope, that. Got it? Then look down and leave round. Come out. Right, one to each side. So remember, you are trying not to allow the body to wander. It's just simply turning on that axis in the middle here. And knees don't go there or there. Ready? And one elbow, other knee, hands together, keep looking forward, thumbs on your sternum, turn, hold, weight on both feet equally. Counting to 20, 10, 11, 12, 18, 19, 20, look down, release, and out. Okay, and then we're going to do the same the other way. Other elbow, hands, thumbs, turn. Keep your knees together. One doesn't go in front of the other. Nineteen, 20, look down, and release. A little shake. Good. And then come down right to the floor here. And we're going to do a sort of leg stretch with a difference here. You might find a little bit of cushioning for your elbow. So I'm going to come right down low like this. I'm going to have my underneath leg bent and my foot behind me, but my two knees in line with each other vertically. I'm going to take this leg up and reach inside the leg and hold my big toe. Right, okay. And then I'm going to try and raise the leg and bring it up into this position. Now, I bent my underneath leg because I feel a little bit more secure, but some of you might like to play with the idea of keeping the underneath leg straight. That requires a little bit more balance from you, but I'm sure you can do it if you really try. So stay on the outside of the leg and the hip. Take the leg up. You can always flex at the ankle, by the way. That will provide you with a bit of security down below there, of that outstretched lower leg. Lift the other leg up. See if you can straighten the knee. Hold it there. All right, bit of a wobble, and then bending down and releasing. Fantastic. Let's try one side. So I'm going to take this for my elbow. So down low. Do it with the bent leg if you feel more secure that way. I'm going to go straight into the straight leg position. So raise the leg, reach inside the leg, get hold of your big toe and start lifting the leg and trying to straighten the knee. There. Relaxing the shoulder as you do so. Of course, you can do this in a standing position, but doing it this way means you haven't got to worry about the balance or curving over sideways, trying to do anything. This guarantees that the side of the body and the hip and the leg are absolutely in line. When you let go, see if you can do it under control so it doesn't sort of flick away and remain under control. So you just let go of it and then lower it down under control. That's the way. And then when you've done it, just turn over, lie down on your back, put your arms beside you, roll the knees and feet out. Just wait a moment in Shavasana. Take a deep breath in. Have a yawn. And just relax. It's really crucial to relax the abdomen here and to let your facial muscles and the soft palate and the jaw just let go of them. Don't have any form of tension there at all. Feel your breathing really loosening and slowing and calming as you do so. So the whole of your body now should feel opened and comfortable and relaxed and calm. As you breathe in, feel your abdomen rising first. And take the breath up into the upper chest and shoulder and clavicle and then down. Feel like a wave going from your abdomen through your lower, then upper ribs, right up to the collarbones, and then release the breath. Do it 2 or 3 more times, really feeling that wave movement happening on the in-breath. Good. And then, taking your time, just bend your right leg and put the foot flat. Press into your right foot so you roll over onto your left side. Take your right hand in front of you and then just bring your knees in and leave it up. Come to a seated position. Just open your eyes, stretch your face, open your mouth and wriggle your jaw, and just settle everything again. Stay there as long as you wish. Namaste.